Hi, and welcome to this story. Today, we share Sarah's emotional journey, a story of quiet heartbreak, healing, and learning to love yourself again. If you've ever felt unseen or forgotten in your own life, this story is for you. My name is Sarah. I am 38 years old. I live in a small town called River Hill. It is a quiet place with green trees and small stores. I have two children. My husband's name is Daniel. He is 43. We have been married for 15 years. When we got married, I was very happy. Daniel was kind and gentle. He brought me flowers. He cooked dinner on Sundays. He looked at me and said, "You are my love." I smiled and felt lucky. I thought we would always stay happy. We lived in a small house near the park. I loved our home. It was warm and full of light. After 2 years, we had our first child, a baby boy. We named him Noah. He was quiet and gentle. He liked books and birds. I stayed home to take care of him. Daniel went to work at the bank every day. 2 years later, we had a daughter. Her name is Emma. She loves music and sings all the time. She is full of joy. I spent my days with the children. I cooked, cleaned, and taught them numbers and words. Daniel worked hard. He came home late, but always kissed the kids goodnight. In those early years, I felt happy. I was tired, but still happy. Life was busy, but it was good. We had dinner together. On weekends, we went to the lake. We ate ice cream and watched ducks. Daniel and I held hands. I believed our love was strong, but slowly, things began to change. Daniel worked more. He said, "I have a lot to do at work." He stopped eating dinner with us. He stopped smiling at me. He looked tired, angry, or quiet. I asked him, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm fine. Don't worry." At first, I believed him. I thought work was hard. Maybe he just needed time. But it got worse. He came home late almost every night. He stopped calling me during the day. He didn't look at me the same way. I missed him. I missed the man who gave me flowers. I missed his warm voice. I felt like I was living with a shadow. He was there, but far away. One day, I found a receipt in his coat pocket. It was from a hotel in a city 2 hours away. The name on the bill wasn't Daniel's. It said room for Mr. D. Taylor and Miss Clara. My heart jumped. My hands shook. I waited for him to come home. I showed him the paper and asked, "Who is Clara?" He said, "She is just a co-worker." It was a work trip, nothing else. I didn't believe him, but I said, "Okay." I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to break the family. Noah was 5 and Emma was 3. They were small. They needed both of us. Weeks passed. I tried to smile. I tried to stay strong. But I cried at night when the kids were asleep. I cried in the kitchen while doing dishes. I looked at Daniel and saw a stranger. He stopped telling me where he was going. He turned off his phone. He said, "I'm tired of these questions." I said nothing. I didn't know what to say. I started to feel empty. I cleaned the house, but it didn't feel like home. I cooked, but the food had no taste. I took the kids to school and smiled at other parents, but inside, I was broken. One afternoon, I went to the market. I saw a man from my past. His name was Mark. We went to school together many years ago. He smiled and said, "Sarah, is that you?" I smiled too. Yes, it's me. He was kind. He asked, "How are you?" I wanted to say, "I'm fine." But I said, "I don't know." He didn't laugh or change the subject. He looked into my eyes and said, "If you need someone to talk to, I'm here." I nodded. I walked away, but his words stayed with me. That night, I sat by the window. The kids were asleep. Daniel wasn't home. I looked at the stars and felt very small. I whispered, "What happened to my life?" I thought about Mark. I thought about his kind eyes and quiet voice. I didn't want anything from him. I just wanted someone to care, someone to listen. A few days later, I saw Mark again. He was at the cafe. I was alone. So I went in. He waved. I sat with him. We talked. Just simple things. The weather, books, our town. But his words felt warm. He asked, "How are your kids?" I smiled. "They are my joy," he said. "You are strong." I can see it. I felt tears in my eyes. No one had said that to me for a long time. We met once a week, sometimes in the park, sometimes at the cafe. Nothing happened. No gifts, no promises, just words, just kindness. I started to feel alive again. I laughed. I felt the sun on my face. I listened to the birds. I looked in the mirror and saw someone I remembered. But one evening, Daniel came home early. He saw a message from Mark on my phone. Just a simple message. "Hope your day was good." Daniel got angry. He shouted, "Who is this man? Are you seeing someone?" I looked at him and said, "I needed someone to talk to. You were not there." He didn't say anything. He walked away. That night, Daniel and I had a long talk. For the first time in many years, he looked at me. His eyes were red. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were hurting so much." I said, "You never asked. You didn't see me." He sat down and held my hand. "I still love you," he said. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to feel something. But my heart was quiet. It was tired. It didn't trust so easily anymore. That was how things started to change in my life. Not with one big moment, but with many small cracks over time. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew I wanted peace. After that night, Daniel started to act different. He came home earlier. He helped with dinner. He asked, "Would you like some tea?" These were small things, but I noticed them. I didn't say much, but I saw he was trying. He even helped Noah with his homework and listened to Emma sing. He smiled more. Not like before, but it was soft. I didn't know if I could trust it. I wanted to, but my heart still hurt. One Sunday morning, he asked, "Do you want to take a walk with me?" We hadn't walked together in years. I said yes. We walked near the lake. The sky was blue. Ducks swam on the water. People rode bikes and laughed. I watched them. I felt like I was looking at a different world. Daniel said, "I miss this. I miss us." I looked at him. I didn't know what to say. I just nodded. He took my hand slowly. I didn't pull away, but it felt strange. His hand was warm, but my heart still felt cold. "I was wrong," he said. "I let work take everything." "I didn't see you were alone," I whispered. "Yes." We walked in silence after that. That evening, he made dinner. Emma was excited. "Daddy is cooking," she said. We ate together. Noah told a joke, and we all laughed. It felt nice. For a moment, it felt like the past again. A warm table, happy children, smiles. But later, when I was alone in the bathroom, I looked in the mirror. I asked myself, do I still love him? I didn't know the answer. One day, Emma came to me with a drawing. It was our family. Me, Daniel, Noah, and her, all holding hands. She smiled and said, "We are happy." I hugged her and kissed her cheek. I didn't want her to see my tears. Later, I asked Noah, "Do you think your dad and I are happy?" He looked surprised. "I don't know," he said. "You're always nice to each other, but sometimes you look sad." He was only 10, but he saw a lot. That night, I cried again, quietly. I didn't want anyone to hear. A few days later, I saw Mark again. I hadn't seen him since Daniel found out. I didn't plan to see him. It just happened. I was at the grocery store, and he was there with his son. He smiled and said, "Hi." I said, "Hello." We talked for a few minutes. He didn't ask many questions. He just said, "I hope you're okay." I nodded. "Thank you. I'm trying." He looked at me gently and said, "You are strong, Sarah. Don't forget that." Then we said goodbye. That evening, I told Daniel I saw Mark. I didn't want to keep secrets. He didn't get angry. He just asked, "Do you still think about him?" I said, "No. I think about how he made me feel like I mattered." Daniel looked down. Then he said, "I want to give you that, too." For the first time, I believed he meant it. He started doing more things at home. He helped Emma with her songs. He fixed the broken door in the kitchen. He asked how my day was. Sometimes he brought small gifts, a book, a flower, a new cup for tea. Nothing big, but thoughtful. He said, "You don't need to thank me. You deserve this." I wanted to smile. Sometimes I did, but still, my heart was slow to open. One night, I got very sick. I had a high fever and strong chest pain. Daniel rushed me to the hospital. He stayed the whole night. He held my hand. He didn't sleep. He just sat there and said, "Please don't leave me." Tears ran down his face. "I still love you," he whispered. I closed my eyes. I remembered those words from long ago, back when we were young, when life was simple. In the morning, I felt better. The doctor said it was a chest infection, nothing serious. But something inside me had changed. I saw fear in Daniel's eyes. I also saw love. Maybe broken love. Maybe old love, but it was still there. When we got home, he made soup and told me to rest. He sat beside me and read from a book. Emma came in and hugged me. Noah brought water. I felt cared for. Later that week, I took a walk by myself. I thought about my life, about the years that passed, about happy days and sad ones, about Mark, about Daniel, about my children. I sat on a bench near the river. The leaves danced in the wind. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I asked, "Can I forgive? Can I heal?" I didn't know the full answer, but I knew I wanted peace. That night, I talked to Daniel. I said, "We have to be honest with each other." He nodded. "Yes, we do." I asked, "Do you really want this marriage? Or are you just afraid to lose it?" He looked at me and said, "I want you, not just the idea of us." "I want to make it right," I asked. Can you forget the other woman? Can you give me the care I need? He said. I will try. I shook my head. Trying is not enough. I need you to mean it. He looked into my eyes. Then I will. I promise. And from that day, things began to change. We didn't become perfect, but we started to walk forward together again. We had short talks about the weather, school, and our past. He asked me about the books I liked. Then he said, "Tell me about your dreams." No one had asked me that in years. One evening, he surprised me with a dinner outside. Just the two of us, by the river. He brought a blanket, sandwiches, and tea. We sat under the stars. He said, "Thank you for staying. Thank you for giving me another chance." I looked at him. He was not the same man I married, and I was not the same woman, but maybe we could build something new, not from the past, but from now. Weeks passed. Life at home was quiet, but not the same. Daniel kept helping. He washed dishes. He folded the laundry. He walked Emma to school. These small things meant a lot to me. He didn't stay late at work anymore. He spent his evenings at home. Sometimes we talked. Sometimes we sat in silence. But the silence felt soft, not cold. I still had doubts. My heart was not all the way open. Sometimes when I looked at him, I remembered the pain, the hotel receipt, the nights I cried alone, the times he walked by me like I was not there. But I also remembered the hospital, his hand in mine, his words, "Please don't leave me." Forgiving him was not easy. I wanted to forget, but I couldn't. I could forgive, but I still remembered. One day, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at my face. I looked tired, but strong. I told myself, "Sarah, you are not perfect, but you are trying. You are doing your best." I wanted peace, not just for my family, but for myself. That week, I wrote a letter to myself, just for me. It said, "Dear Sarah, you are strong. You are kind. You are important. You lived through pain and didn't give up. You cried, but you kept going. You wanted love, and you still do. Don't feel bad about that. Love yourself first. Then you can love others. You deserve to be happy. Don't forget that." I folded the letter and put it in my drawer. When I feel sad, I read it again. Some days are better than others. Some days I smile without trying. Other days I feel tired. And that's okay. Life isn't always easy. I learned to accept that. I also started doing things for myself. I took walks alone in the morning. I went to the library and borrowed books. I listened to quiet music and drank tea in silence. One day, I bought a notebook. I started writing in it every night. I didn't hide my feelings. I wrote the truth. Some nights I wrote, "I am still hurt." Other times I wrote, "Today I felt happy." I let the feelings come. I didn't push them away. Emma asked me once, "Mom, why do you write in your book every night?" I smiled and said, "Because it helps me feel better." She nodded and said, "Maybe I will try that too." Noah changed too. He became more open. He talked to Daniel more. They played games on the weekend. I watched them and felt thankful. I knew our family had been broken once, but maybe it could heal. Not go back to what it was, but become something new. One evening, Daniel gave me a small box. Inside was a necklace with a small heart. He said, This is not to say sorry. This is to say thank you for not giving up on me. I held the necklace. I said, "Thank you for learning to see me again." He put it around my neck. That night, we sat on the sofa with the kids. We watched an old movie. Emma sang with the songs. Noah laughed at the funny parts. I looked at my family. I felt a small light inside. Not a fire, just a soft light. But it was enough. Some days, I still think about Mark. I don't miss him as a person. I miss how he made me feel seen, but I knew I had said goodbye. He was from a time when I felt lost. He gave me kindness when I needed it. I will always thank him for that. But now, I am finding kindness in my life again. Slowly, step by step. Daniel is not perfect. I'm not perfect. But we are both trying. One Saturday morning, we cleaned the house together. Emma played music, and we all sang. I saw Daniel smiling at me, not with guilt, but with care. Later, we drank tea in the garden. He said, "I know I hurt you. I don't ask you to forget. I only ask for a chance to build something new with you," I said. "One day at a time." He nodded. "That's enough." And it was. Now, I don't dream about a perfect life. I don't wait for big words or flowers. I look for small moments. A quiet morning. A warm cup of tea. My children's laughter. A walk near the river. I know now, love is not just a feeling. Love is care. Love is time. Love is listening. Love is respect. And I also know this. I am strong. I can live through sadness. I can find light again. I can trust myself. My heart is still healing, but it's not broken. I take life one day at a time. I try to smile. I try to rest. I try to be kind to others and to myself. If you are reading this, maybe you feel lost too. Maybe you feel tired. Please remember this. You are not alone. You are strong. You deserve love. Start with yourself. One small step, one quiet moment, one day at a time. And maybe the light will come back. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps us share more real and inspiring stories like Sarah's. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.